The following program is a paid advertisement for Bridgeland Auto Brokers and does not represent the views or opinion of the station.
Welcome to the 2020 Bridgeland Auto Brokers car show, TV show, whatever you want to call it. Ready? Let the bandit go. Here's a fresh trade alert right here. This one just came in on trade.
Silver and gold.
This is the 2SS package. So we got a fully loaded car, leather interior, embroidered seats.
Got the underlay.
Yep. You love the underlay.
I love that. The RS gives it the 20s, blackout trim features, the grille,
Yeah.
and the underlay.
And in this month, you're not only going to see some really cool inventory, but you're going to learn a little bit about the car market. Welcome to the January 2021 show, and I gotta say, it feels good to say 2021, and it probably feels good to hear it on the other side of that TV. This month, we decided to take a break. It's a big undertaking to do a commercial. It takes sometimes a couple days of preparation, and then we obviously gotta shoot, and then there's a whole lot more that goes on behind the scenes once these camera guys leave our dealership and the real work starts to happen. So we're gonna show you a little bit of that behind the scenes stuff that always interests me. We're also gonna show you a little bit of the inside stuff with us. I want to tell you about how the suit came about, so you're going to get to learn a little bit about that with me. We're also going to talk about family. As you've seen some of our commercials, we have our daughters, our neighbors, and we definitely like to get people involved, so we're going to talk about that a little bit and just give you a little bit of that reality TV. It's always fun to watch a little bit of that, take a little bit of a break from the cars. Of course, that's where all this starts, but we're going to have a little bit of fun. So January 2021 is going to be a little bit of a different show. Stay tuned. The show's ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome to the July 2020 CleanCarsCheap.com
Back to school.
Auto Show. Automotive Debates, Bridgeland Auto Brokers Show. Welcome to February. The February 2020 CleanCarsCheap.com commercial. Welcome to the June 2020 Bridgeland Auto Brokers Show. And the theme this month is really getting back to normal. I'm gonna put the best debates on in the world. I have my competitor here, Sleepy Jim.
It's Sleepy Joe, Donnie.
2021 is going to be the greatest year.
Oh yeah.
December 2020 has finally arrived, and listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, probably like most people on the other side of that screen, I'm glad for it to arrive this year.
Yes.
Let's get that behind us.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome to the Bridgeland Auto Brokers CleanCarsCheap.com July edition of 2020. We've gotten through show number 1. Back to school, right? Things are flowing.
Back to school.
Life is getting back to normal, piece by piece. And now in our first show, you were able to see some nice inventory. We had a lot of fun in the first show. We're gonna set them up for a nice good time in the second one too. So if you had an opportunity to watch our first show for December, you've seen that we had some pretty cool inventory. So some really good information. Stay tuned in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green screen. When we talk about green screen, that's when you see the graphics behind us when we're standing in front of the cars. It's actually a big part of our commercials, and we chose to use that. That was actually turned on to us. I was using this wall behind me when we first started doing these infomercials. I didn't know what green screen was. I didn't realize that we could put graphics behind me. So we put a corrugated board on the back and said Bridgeland Auto Brokers across it, I believe, and we shot commercials against the wall. And then we started doing the green screen, I think when it was, I want to say a couple years ago at Tax Time. The company that had shooting the commercials for me at that time explained to me what they could do. We put the tax checks behind me and I saw that and it was over. It's that time of year again, and these tax checks are about to arrive. Visit us at CleanCarsCheap.com. Of course, you're going to find an array of pickup trucks, but you're also going to find some SUVs and cars that we've brought out of the Canadian market that are going to be thousands of dollars below what the competition has. I chose to continue to do that. Now, each and every month, I don't know what's going to be behind me. I'm as surprised as you. So take a look at some of the cool stuff that these guys have put together for us over the last couple of years. Recognize these noodles? Well, actually, Bridgeland's first car commercial that we shot, I was wearing this particular hoodie, and I wanted to drive home the idea of cheap. And the website was cleancarscheap.com. I had just developed this website. I was kind of on the fence. I didn't want people to think I sold cheap junk, but I wanted to drive home that cheap. I wanted to drive home the idea that, we're cheaper than other dealerships. So I wore that hoodie, and some of you over on the other side of that TV, I'm sure, recognize those noodles that you can buy in any grocery store. That was the pivoting point for me TV-wise. We did that commercial. I got a lot of good feedback, and people that know me know that I had a day job for quite a few years while I owned the dealership. So here I am with 25 or 26 employees. We're already shooting car commercials. I'm selling cars for a franchise dealership, and my arm was twisted by the producer to maybe do them myself. So he said, why don't you get on TV and do your own commercials? I don't think your boss will mind. Well, my boss did mind. So in a short period of time, I was on the TV commercials in the waiting area while I'm on the showroom floor selling cars for another dealership, and that didn't really work out too well for a long period of time. And we decided that my energy was best put into Bridgeland, and the rest is history. When you think of Bridgeland, you think of goofy, funny, and the one thing that if I were to say, what do people call me? The guy in the goofy suits. That's what I always hear. I want to meet the guy in the goofy suits. Want to meet the guy in the goofy suits. So take a look at some of the goofy suits we've worn all year long.
Yeah, thank you.
Here for you, buddy. Scratch. I'll hook you up.
I
It's been a
love
rough
that
year
stuff.
on you,
I
but
love it.
we're locked and loaded. We got a credit event going on all month long, so you're going to want to stay tuned to get some details. Next up the bat, we have a 2016 Ram Eco Diesel, and this is not just your average one.
No, it's Laramie.
It's a Laramie, fully loaded, got all the options on it.
8-inch screen, heated and cooled seats.
It does. Butter soft. Visit us all month long. This is going to be one of the best months to buy. Maybe you're a college student and you want something that's going to be a nice easy payment. Well, watch this. $189 a month, hit the confetti. Boom! Hit it again. Boom! $189 a month, doesn't get better than that. At cleancarscheap.com, we have luxury cars, we have sports cars, and we definitely have the biggest truck inventory that you're gonna find in Central New York. Whether you want a lifted truck, maybe you want a diesel truck, a 16, a 17, maybe a 2018, we've got them all. In the market for a new ride? You're not gonna find rides like these anywhere. I may be a funny man in a suit, but my inventory is no joke. You're gonna find luxury SUVs, one-of-a-kind trucks, sports cars, the free model year that you're gonna get with this car. A 2019 Chevy Impala LT.
With leather.
Leather trimmed out, got the wheels, got it all. It's also got good miles. Let me do my thing real quick.
Oh, hey, Professor.
Whoa.
You're getting good at that, dude.
Right, that's my new
Yeah,
thing.
man.
That's my new
Listen,
commercial thing, right?
And now you got to warn people, though.
Okay, so now you know what I came to do. In true fashion,
Boing.
got you all dressed up for Valentine's Day, of
What are you
course.
talking about, dressed up?
Well, these nice little wings and stuff.
That's my feathers.
Did they try to get you this year yet?
They're trying, so I'm just trying to keep a low profile.
They're shooting at them, they're stuffing them, they're
Yeah.
figuring out how they're gonna
You been
carve them
shot
up.
at yet?
I have.
Anybody try to stuff you yet?
Listen, it's a crazy world out
You didn't get hit?
there. I didn't get
Carved up?
carved up.
Listen, how would you feel if you were shot at, try to get stuffed and try to get carved? Ugh, it's all in the same month.
It's a rough world.
If I didn't know you, I'd be cutting you up. I know that. I know you'd be in the middle of my Thanksgiving, 6'2" or nothing. I don't care, right in the middle. I got a long table.
That's a lot of turkey right there.
That's a ton of turkey. Can't we stuff him with a whole bunch of whatever? And
Yeah. Beer can turkey.
take them braces off and get at it. A lot of love in here today, guys. I appreciate you guys being in these suits. Good job on the suits. So, hot, right?
Oh, it's hot.
It is
Inside is
Definitely hot.
mad cool.
Here we go. Here's another absolute piece of candy right here. Play the song.
It's like candy. I can feel it when you walk.
Okay, so big store inventory.
Like a piece of candy, can I lick it?
This is big store inventory right here.
Guy says to me, what's with the costume? So I says to the guy, what costume?
Although we have a lot of fun with our suits, and that's part of Bridgeland's brand, one of the things when you watch the commercials, you're gonna notice that we really do know what we're talking about. One of the things that I focus on is the equity part. Now, being that 80% of the people, I would say on an average, that come into a dealership, whether it's my dealership or dealerships that I've worked at throughout the years, most of the people, there's a common thread, is that they owe more on their trade than it's worth. And what I've done is I built a massive customer base when I worked for a franchise store. I carried the majority of those customers over with me, and I continued to build with Bridgeland, was getting the people into a trade cycle. Now, once you find somebody that you're comfortable dealing with, the job of a salesman or an owner of a dealership or whoever's dealing with you, if they're looking out for you, is setting you up for that next sale. And that's called a trade cycle. So what we do is we take, we consider how you drive, how many miles a year you drive, the rate of depreciation on the particular car that you chose, and how often you like to trade. We put that all into a mixer, and then we come up with a trade cycle for you, and we tell you when it's going to be most beneficial for you to trade. Now, you can do whatever you like, but the majority of the customers that I'll deal with love being in those trade cycles. That means that they can walk in every 2 to 3 years, hand me the keys kind of like a lease, and upgrade themselves, keep a similar payment, and believe me, if you've never experienced that, it's 100% possible. It just depends on who you're dealing with. But you gotta get the right deal up front, you gotta be on the right car, you gotta buy the right mileage. There's a whole lot that goes into it, but we do all that thinking for you. Take a look at some of the brains that we've actually put behind the goofiness. So like I just explained, this truck, $5,000 to $6,000 more than we paid for it.
Great.
We're selling them online right now for less than they wholesale for, and I'll probably break to another screen where we can show you that, and we can actually prove that to you. It's a pretty cool thing to look at. So you can buy a vehicle for less than it would do at an auction, but the good news is maybe we take a trade-in, maybe that trade-in I can resell. Maybe you send me your friends, your family members, things like that. So we have to foster our retail business, that's number one. This is an Ohio car, and one of the things you're gonna wanna pay attention to when buying a car, you're gonna wanna pull that Carfax, which we offer to every customer on every one of our vehicles. All you have to do is ask.
Transparency.
So one of the things that people you're gonna want to look at when you do pull the Carfax is where's the car from? Okay, we wanna make sure that we have good history on the car. This one, as a matter of fact, shows one minor incident on it. If it was a big deal, I wouldn't have bought it. Now it's all about equity. This is gonna give you a lot of peace of mind. The peace of mind you're gonna have is that you're never gonna be in a position where you own more than it's worth. As a matter of fact, you're gonna be in a position of equity, providing that our market stays the same. This truck here, I ran a 3-year amortization schedule on this truck. What that allows me to do is it allows me to look and see, I take the parameters of your loan, and then we can see 3 years from now what you're gonna owe on it. Now what I do is I take this 2018, considering that you're gonna keep it for 3 years, I look up what a 15 is worth today, because that would be yours 3 years from now, would be today's 2015. It's gonna blow your mind. You had 2,500 in equity, right? Remember that? You're only gonna owe 17.1.
Wait for it.
It's worth 21 grand. So if you don't put the tax and DMV down, which is about the $2,500 equity,
BOUT.
your truck is worth what you owe.
There you have it.
If maybe you say, listen, I don't have the cash to put down today. I like the truck, I need a truck, I don't have the bread to put down, but I don't care if I got equity in 3 years. As long as I can get back what I owe, well, then put nothing down and come back in my door 3 years from now. Let's see if I can get down, let's see if I can put my money where my mouth is. I put the balloons out because I wanted to talk about the balloon payment.
Brother and sisters.
We've run these for a few people that I've sold cars to for many years, and these are my repeat customers, and I wouldn't set them up for failure, okay? Now, it doesn't work on every maker, model, or every application, but let me give you the example on this particular truck. We're gonna take this truck, I ran it 2 ways on a balloon. Again, we can go with traditional financing with a super low interest rate, be a little over $800 a month, essentially with about $5,000 down. That's your tax and DMV on this truck. Now, we can go with a balloon. We can go with a 6-year balloon. You say, well, what does balloon mean? Essentially, it's a used car lease. If you're a 12,000 mile, maybe a 15,000 mile a year driver, this truck, you can do a 6-year balloon, which means you're gonna commit to the truck for the full 6 years. You drive it for 6 years, you have 12,000 miles a year, you're able to put a little over 70,000 miles additional on the truck from what it has. 6 years, you walk in, you hand the keys back, and you start over again, just like a lease. I don't favor the 6-year because I believe if you bought it, you have equity at that point. I think if you took this, even though it's a higher payment, I believe because it's a diesel, it's a mega cab, it's just got all the right stuff, it's a truck that would have a lot of equity. But if you don't care about the equity, you just want the lower payment, that may be a good fit. This is where it's gonna make all the sense in the world to you. This Honda Odyssey with 47,000 miles has 15,000 miles higher than the average Honda Odyssey in the market. But it's also $3,200 cheaper, or $50 a month less. Which means that if you bought our Honda, as opposed to the average one in the market with lower mileage, you'll be able to pay $3,200 less. Now this is based off of actual research, folks. $3,200 less or $50 a month less. Now, let's compare the two. Let's say you're gonna keep either one of them. We were looking at this side by side. You and your family are sitting at your kitchen table saying, "Hun, I don't know which one we should buy. Which one makes sense?" Let me help you out with that. So now, we take the 47,000 mile van. We're gonna keep it for 3 years either way. You put 15,000 miles a year on it. 3 years from now, you want to trade it in, it's got 92,000 miles.
One of the things, that's come to my attention recently, I had a friend of mine, talk to me about our commercials in the Canadian market and us being very transparent about things. And, I wanted to be able to share a couple details that may help people have a better understanding of what it is that we do, because we are, we wear our heart on our sleeve, and, it is what it is, capital mentality.
Yep.
So, when it comes down to our contacts and how we buy some of our vehicles to have the added value and benefit to our customers, maybe you could fill in a couple of those.
So
blank
one
spots.
of the things that I think where you're getting with that is the Canadian market. Now, there's two schools to that. A lot of your dealerships don't have those direct connections, and most dealerships don't, and they truly don't have direct connections.
Or the ability.
Okay, or the ability. So a lot of your dealers, there are a few around that do, that are well connected.
I agree.
However, the majority of what's around us are not. They're gonna go to your local auctions, they're gonna buy from wholesalers that have bought them Canadian. So a very large percentage of what's being sold in the US for years now is Canadian.
Right.
Now, to your conversation, what you were explaining to me was, does it do more benefit? We like I said, we're very transparent. We want to let you know where they come from. We tout that because I'm proud of the contacts that I've made over the years. I believe that I have contacts that most people don't have, that allow me to buy my vehicles a little bit cheaper than most of my competition, which is, I believe, a key ingredient of why we sell so many units a month, which is more than most franchise stores. So when you're looking at these commercials, there's two kinds that we do. We do the 30-minute, there's a lot of terminology for that. They either call them paids, I call them infomercials, which is what you're watching right now. And then we have our 30-second commercials that you'll find through News 10 Now, and some of your broadcast stations. And it's really a 50-50. This is a lot of the work here with what you're watching with these 30-minute commercials, but a lot more work actually goes into the 30-second commercials, believe it or not. And when we started this campaign, we came up with this idea 6, 7, 8 months ago, and we just wrapped it up. So all throughout the first half, at least, of 2021, you're gonna see a whole different flavor from Bridgeland. And we wanted to drive home the no bull concept and show the customer that there's no bull here. You're not gonna get the same treatment that you might get at some of the other places. Now, don't get me wrong, we exaggerated it with some of the commercials, which is the fun part. But you're gonna see this first one here with Steve, and we shot, I wanna say 5 or 6 of these. This one was, the camera crew started shooting, off script. I didn't know it was really happening. I come out of the dealership and I see these guys shooting something in the parking lot, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? I watched a little bit of it, and immediately I'm like, no way, I don't understand this, not making sense. And they said, listen, just give us a shot with it. If you don't like it in the end, we'll toss it. And ended up being one of my favorites. So take a look here at Steve. Steve did a great job.
Come on down to Steve's Automotive.
I'm like you. I've got crappy credit. Why do you think I'm standing here?
I want you to be here with me.
Sure, you may not like the vehicle, but you're gonna ride off in something with 4 wheels at 20 to 22% interest. You won't even be able to figure out when the bill comes due, because we're gonna shove one on you right as you leave here. We don't expect you're gonna pay them, but that's not our problem. We're just gonna have the bank default on it.
We will forget about you, but you'll never forget about us.
Tired of the bull? We have a lot of fun with our commercials. We put a lot of energy into our costume, our suits, the production, but one of the fun parts for me is that I get to do it with my family and friends. And if you've watched some of the commercials, Jim and I have actually been friends for over 20 years. You'll notice that, I have my wife in the commercial, I've had my daughter in the commercial, you've had your daughter in the commercial. And the coolest part is that doing what we do, commercials aside, doing what we do with the passion that we do it with, it's a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle.
It's not a job, it's a lifestyle. And the people in our lives have to be on board for that. It's kind of like having a husband or a wife in the military, and you signed up for it. And if they move, they get stationed somewhere else, you go for the ride. Very similar to what we do.
It takes a family commitment.
It does.
We speak of family, we have two different families. We have the ones that we're married to underneath our rooftops at home, and then we have our families here that are on the rooftops of the organization, and we do look at it like that.
Just as a small example, you actually fly home. Your family doesn't even live in the state.
Nope.
And you decided that you were locking horns with us. You remained committed. You moved your family to another state, and you fly back and forth. And you're actually flying out of here today.
Yep.
So you're gonna fly, spend the holidays, whatnot with your family, and come back and locked and loaded for a few weeks. And that's a level of commitment. So I'm sure that a lot of people, including you with your job or whatever it is, I'm sure there's a level of commitment that you have too, but I think we're proud of the commitment that we put into it, and I think it shows with our product and with our level of service that we offer our customers.
Tremendous sense of accomplishment. One of the fuels that I tap into is the success that we've had. We've done it collectively through our Bridgeland family, having, vision that other people can tap into, which is nice. And, we've been very fortunate with having, growth steady year over year, and we're continuing to grow. And we do that with our Bridgeland family. 2021, we're going to be building another brand, so stay tuned. You're going to be seeing a whole different phase of our development. Yeah. And there's a lot of stores. It's exciting. So stay tuned.
Riley Senecal! Jasmine! And last but least, Mr. Senecal! Next up, you ready?
Yeah, don't I look ready?
Super ready.
Beautiful.
She's just holding on, buddy. She's just as scared as you are. Just as scared as you are, Rob.
He's gonna be like.
She told you to hold her face, didn't she?
No, he's okay.
She just doesn't want to slip, that's all. She's just hanging on.
What do you think, boss? This you?
Not really. If it was any type of car, I would take it, but I'm not really a minivan type of guy.
Who's got electric doors?
Let's tell you this.
It's got options. I broke this one out of the treasure chest because of
It's
the
gold.
the color. I love the color. Do you love the color?
It's okay. It's okay. It's not my favorite.
I love the color. Now, I am actually the one that bought this one. This was my choice. What goes into shooting a 30-minute commercial? Well, where do you even start with that? Well, the first thing's gonna be we gotta choose the cars. And timing's very important because you have to have enough time to prepare them, get them ready, quote payments, get all that built, but not too soon so that all the cars aren't sold before you shoot the commercial. So that's the first hurdle. Secondly, we have to get them all cleaned up, ready and in line. The monthly payments, we have to structure those. We have to do the research on the cars to understand the Carfax history, the prior owner history. Do we have service records? What are some of the key points with the car? Colors, also another one. You don't want to put all white cars in your commercial, and you don't want to put all black or silver cars. So you want to get that good mix of colors. And then trying to line up everybody's schedule, that's another big one. Takes a few people to get these ready, wipe them down, the whole bit during the commercials. We have to have the people that shoot the commercials willing to come in and meet us at a time that works for us, because obviously we have a business to run. We got to do that, in the middle of all this. So you'll see in some of our commercials, we do them at night. We've been here till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning doing them. We've done Sundays. So I think probably the reason you wouldn't see a lot of dealerships doing this is because of the level of commitment that it takes. It's a whole different level. So it's one thing to come in here and sell the cars and do all that, and that's a big job. There's a lot that goes into that, but if you want to make a splash in the market, it takes a different level of commitment, and that's what we do. We're gonna wrap it up with some of these final outtakes that we've had, and we've had a lot of fun. And welcome to 2021, and we're hoping it's gonna be as good of a year for you as it is for us.
I can get it all under there and all simultaneously.
He and his family are car huggers. That's what they do. This show is absolutely gonna knock your socks off.
Wow. Blow me, flip me around. I'll stop and then bring me back around like. All right.
Okay, you ready? I'm gonna get this truck. You ready? You all right?
Yeah, but this stuff.
You caught in the power lines again?
Got heated back seats, dude. What?
Give me a scream though.
Oh, crikey! Rob, more brown.
That's what you gotta do. Do that.
Woo! Crikey!
I want you to go. We talk about future value. Now, as the price goes down and gets lower, you create a bigger pool of buyers. So this truck, if this truck had 60,000 miles on it and was priced for $22,995, you'd have more people that could afford that truck than can afford it in the 30s. Now we're into the heavy metal there, Santa. We're into the heavy.
Hey, I'm not Santa, okay? Look again. Maybe you should put your glasses on.
Let me pull something out of your back pocket.
I'm not a kangaroo, dude. Okay?
Not my mid-30s anymore.
Okay, next up we have a 2018 Honda Civic. This is an absolutely beautiful color. I need to get out of the way to let you guys see that a little bit. Whoa! What was that? You know what? I gotta give it to you because you're the only pilgrim I've ever met in my whole life with a smart watch. Come on, man.
We get down with the times.
Hey, Professor. We don't operate under disguise. This is a true credit event, Rob. Thanks, Ralphie.
The following program is a paid advertisement for Bridgeland Auto Brokers and does not represent the views or opinion of the station.